Hi, I'm Annie Fitzsimmons. I'm your Washington REALTORS Legal Hotline lawyer, and this is another episode in our series that looks at implementing agency law revisions effective January 1st, 2024. This law, of course, requires that you enter a brokerage services agreement with your client before or as soon as reasonably practical after the provision of real estate brokerage services. A question I've been receiving is this. I have a prospective buyer, somebody who might be interested in purchasing in the future. They're not ready or able to purchase right now, but they've asked me about real estate enough that I think it is prudent to keep them in the loop. And so I have set up through my MLS delivery of an MLS auto-generated email where I create the criteria, but the MLS sends emails to this hopefully someday prospective buyer. But they're not yet my client because I'm not doing anything other than asking the MLS to send these auto-generated emails. In that scenario, must I have a brokerage services agreement with that buyer? And the answer is no. Asking the MLS to send auto-generated emails to a hopefully someday prospective buyer is not the provision of real estate brokerage services. And sending those emails does not require you to have a buyer agency agreement in place with that buyer. You could have a buyer agency agreement in place with that buyer in case that buyer surprises you and maybe themselves and decides they're ready to purchase sooner than they thought. You could have a buyer agency agreement in place with them, but if all that you're doing is asking your MLS to send that buyer relevant emails, then you're not required to have that buyer agency agreement. If you have questions on this topic or any other, ask me a question by visiting warealtor.org. Thank you for being a Washington REALTORS member.